Well, welcome everybody to the Toku Portal podcast for Kaitou Sentai LupinRanger versus Keisatsu Sentai PatoRanger. I am Vashi V, and joining me today are
Did it decayed?
And the little king.
And Rai. Welcome to the podcast where we talk about Rider before the Sentai podcast a whole bunch.
Partially my fault. For those of you who watch Geo, you know why.
Yep. And the Sentai we're talking about is LupinRanger vs PatoRanger episode 35. So, Kairi comes across Kogure in public. Wow. Kogure is having an espresso before investigating. The Ganglar, Doryun, arrives from a manhole. He's mole themed, so yeah. He uses his collection piece to split people into three. Uh, so Jim alerts the police. Kogure explains that the piece splits the victims into a good version and a bad version of themselves. And of course, the bad ones begin rampaging. Kaito changes and attacks. Doryun prepares to use the piece on him, but Ichigo shoots him at the last second, directing the beam at Kogure and splitting him into three. The PatoRangers attack Doryun. Kogure and the polite version flee to Jiraiya. All the bad Kogure gives Red trouble. The other mean clones start attacking the PatoRangers. Doryun, of course, gives up the whole catch by saying that if they defeat the mean ones, the victims can't return to normal. And he flees. Noelle is enjoying some tea at Jiraiya. Kogure arrives out of breath. But the polite Kogure is gone, and the bad one is missing as well. Opening scene. Thoughts?
I honestly don't know what to make of this. I mean, I get the idea of it, and hell, let's face it, we need some light shed on Kogure and a few other characters sooner rather than later. So I will take the victors wherever we find them, and I will appreciate what they're trying to give us. I just don't know how to make heads or tails of it is the problem. And seeing Kogure and Piles, like seeing that mean teacher, you can't help but like have like a life out in public. You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel right.
I don't know, it is interesting that instead of just splitting them into the good and evil versions, it keeps the normal version as well to like complete the Triforce of Balance. Uh, but I also enjoyed seeing Koguri in this like normal light. Like he's getting ready to get on with his business, but he's just sitting down enjoying some coffee. Like, yeah, this is just how I relax. Uh, and then we've never seen him in the field of fire before. Uh, so for him to actually be there when a Ganglar attacks is a little like surreal because we don't. This is a new experience here. He's like scared, he's worried, like, hey, he's not actually supposed to be in the line of fire.
this is done very, very well because, like you said, it's like we're not used to seeing Kogure outside of him showing up, going, "Hey, go get this piece," or "Thank you for this piece." Aside from the one or two moments of him coming to the rescue, in disguise uh, when Toma and Umiko were transformed into kids and all that. It's like we don't see this type of stuff from him. So seeing him out and about doing his thing, it's a nice touch. Um, it also gives more depth to his character beyond being that, for lack of a better term, omniscient person who shows up when he's needed. I do like the fact that he calls Kyrie out for sabotaging the cafe by not doing his job.
You slacking off again? No, I'm actually working this time.
Um, it the fact of seeing him around a Ganglar and because like this entire episode basically is to point out what Kogure does, and it's done well. Because like to start with, we know nothing of what he does other than hey, thanks for the collection piece. So seeing him around a Gangler is different, and it's done very well with how this episode plays out. And as much as this character really hasn't done much, it's gave more depth and character to him to the point where I'm actually interested to learn more about him.
I feel more like he's a member of the team now than I had any time before this.
Right. And just the idea of what the Gangler does makes for an interesting episode, especially with Kogure getting turned into 3 different parts. And the way Kogure explains that at the end was kind of funny.
Yep. So at Jiraiya, Kogure explains the situation. You get the episode title. Number 35, The Good, the Bad, and the Normal. The thieves aren't too worried about finding the other Kogures until he explains that if they aren't combined within 6 hours, all 3 will die. Noel decides to tackle the Ganglar with the police, while the thieves search for the offshoots. Kogure will explain. Oh, sorry. Kogure will stay put at Jiraiya. And then we just get a short scene at DeGranio's, which is kind of inconsequential, but we do see DeGranio being a bit more irritated. Really, he just wants a Ganglar to get some results.
Yeah, like, he set this whole game up not just to amuse himself, but also to, like, hey, I'm retiring, let someone else take over, and everyone is losing. He was enjoying it at first, but now he's actually like, alright, we're running out of, like, people here, someone finally just get this over with.
That's what I call karma. You set up a game where you try to take over the world protected by superheroes. I don't care what you call them, that's what they're clarified as. You're gonna lose a lot of men pretty damn fast.
This might be an issue with the translation that I watched, but the wording he used for my translation was actually kind of amazing. It was, it doesn't matter what you did in the past. If you want to take my place, it's going to require power.
What he said in the one I watched was, past successes don't matter. Pretty much the same thing.
Right. And then for someone to succeed, that makes sense. It's like, it doesn't matter what you did. It matters what you're going to do now. So it's that whole, it makes it a level playing field for his rules of this game to succeed. Of, it doesn't matter if you're the strongest or the weakest. All that matters is the result.
Yep, because apparently Raimon destroyed worlds, and look where he ended up. So,
Not even a proper arc.
yeah.
Yeah, remember that guy that kidnapped people, episode like 4 or 5?
Yeah, me neither.
Gosh praised him for like always bringing her precious samples.
Yeah, so Umika and Toma find the good Kogure dressed in all white, but he's pretty dirty. They save him after he fails at saving a boy from an oncoming truck. This Kogure is super polite and pretty much unable to stop helping people. They bring him to Jiraiya and leave. The nice Kogure tells the original that he feels sorry for being a burden to the thieves again. He explains that they're pretty much entrusting the young thieves with work that's beyond their abilities. So they're pretty much doing all the hard work, risking their lives. Which makes the original think. So Jim is unable to find the Ganglar and believes he's using underground tunnels to navigate. The global police recombine one of the victims by pretty much just squeezing them together. So yeah, any thoughts on polite Kogure?
Okay, I'll admit it. I was actually starting to warm up to Kogure just a little bit. Not a lot, considering it's been 35 friggin' episodes, but a little. Now that I'm seeing a bit more of the story from his perspective, I might start liking him as a character. But this is just one instance. I want to see more before I can say anything concrete.
Well, like, good Kogure is generic nice guy, but that is Kogure's inner niceness. That's how he feels on the inside. He just has other conflicting emotions that typically prevent him from actually going out of his way to help people. But this shows that, like, if he didn't have those thoughts, he would be just a really good civilian. And that does put him in a different light, especially when what we learn later and what he learns about himself.
Like, good Kogure is fantastic. He is, you know, what you aspire to be in terms of goodness. So, and the fact that it took that side of him to point out to Kogure that you dropped the ball, for lack of a better term. Because the way it came across to me was this was a job he was sent to do, specifically him. And he realized he was too old for it, so he found 3 people who could do it for him. So to me, it came across that through Good Kogure telling that, and his realization of it was that he basically went, "Hey, I've got me 3 pawns," and that wasn't his intention, but that's what ended up happening. Because he knew that he couldn't do it on his own because of the danger and the risk and all that, and he didn't want to. The way I look at it, he didn't want to die because he knew the risk that was involved in this. So he knew he needed help, but he did so without explaining anything and really explaining the risks to it, at least well enough to warrant them doing all of this. So it gives it more depth to his character because he doesn't want to be that guy who's just, here, go do my dirty work. Because I don't want to do it, or I'm too scared to do it, or whatever that particular case may be, because it's not exactly fully delved into why he's so willing not to do it and let them do it, at least through all this. But it's very, very well done and emotional.
He doesn't want to be the bad guy, but that's, in a way, he feels like that's what he became. And this is literally his guilt making him aware of that. Like, this is what you feel bad about, even if you don't realize it.
Right. It's like, because he, for lack of a better term, he sent 3 kids in the path of death. Because it's not guaranteed that they're going to survive this.
And what'll happen to them if they get caught as thieves? Like, what will their lives become? This is
right.
a high-risk scenario.
And it's done very, very well. Just like it, these are the type of episodes that I like in terms of like nuance and stuff like that. It's like this episode's really, really good at it. Especially later on when Kogure has the realization.
Also, side note, Tuma and Umika, to save Kogure and that child, just unhesitantly pulled out their thieves' tools. In that moment, they didn't care about getting spotted as the thieves. That says a lot about their character as well.
Right. Because, like you said, like they get caught, they're fucked. I mean, there's no nice way to put it. They're going to jail if they get caught. And the fact that unhesitantly they saved a child using the known thief gear. If any of the cops had been anywhere near them, oh, they'd have been screwed. But they did it anyway because that's what you're supposed to do.
Although I could see the scenario of like Sakuya saw that, but like he doesn't want to believe that Umika is a thief, so he doesn't say anything at first. And he like
Yeah, I could
tries
see that one.
rationalizing to himself like maybe I missaw it.
And then continues to try to date her.
And then finally Tsukasa is like, why are you acting weird? And he says, because I think I saw this. And she's like, why didn't you say so sooner?
Yeah, it's an interesting point about them using their belt grappling hooks out in public. But Noel finds the rude Kogure, and he's in an extremely tacky delinquent biker outfit. He attacks Noel, but he's just...
Noel?
Oh, sorry, Noel. I'm awake now. Kairi. Yeah, it's because Noel had like a 2-second scene with Jim. But yeah, Kairi finds Kogure, the mean Kogure, and the mean Kogure attacks, but he just falls into trash. Then we cut to a construction worker opening a manhole. Who could it be? Kairi arrives at Jiraiya with the mean Kogure, but the original's missing now. They have less than 2 hours to combine them. But then the thieves and Noel get a location sent to their phones.
Gee, I wonder who could have sent it.
Yeah. Yeah, any quick thoughts on mean Kogure?
It's too easy. It's just too easy to make the jokes. So I'll let you guys have them.
What movies do you think Koguri watched as a child to have this part of him inside of him?
3 words. Teen beach movie.
He watched like every bad delinquent movie from like the 50s.
And maybe a touch of Fulze just to get into the spirit of things.
That outfit was so bad.
That outfit was terrible. That was
It was
good
a
too.
rip-off Grease jacket, that's what that was.
Honestly.
I will say when they showed the construction worker opening the manhole, my first thought wasn't Kogure. My first thought was that it was the Gangler. For some reason, he had popped out, took on human form, and then went back into the sewer.
Honestly, I kind of glanced over that scene.
Yeah, it was very short.
But it, like, just the way they focused on it made me go, because they hadn't done the Kogure's missing part yet. So my brain went, hey, look, it's the bad guy. Nope.
Or maybe it's just some person about to get attacked by the bad guy.
Right, it's like it was set up for all of it. It's like, that's a good bait and switch.
Yep. So Doryu senses a spy and shoots the construction worker out of hiding while they're underground.
See, this is where I went, oh, that's Kogure.
Yeah, for sure. So the thieves save him. Lupin X arrives as well. The thieves take the worker to safety, where they reveal that they know he's Kogure. He removes his disguise and explains that he was just doing his job, but clearly he was more reckless than usual this time, trying to redeem himself and help the thieves. Umika notes, however, that his expression is just like the good Kogure's, who's always helping people. The thieves assure him that they're fine risking their lives and that they need him to fulfill their wishes. The Kaitou change and we get a mid-fight roll call. But it was a pretty sweet scene. What did you guys think?
Again, starting to warm up to him.
I don't know how long we've been down, but it's trying to reconnect now. Usually,
a hilltop or the like. I would not be opposed.
We still
Lord
haven't met
knows
his
the
wife.
Pat Ranger half needs a little love. Or a lot of love. But regardless, I was happy with what I saw, and Like I said, maybe this is a preview of what's to come. We can only hope.
So this is like Kogore's episode. This is probably his one episode that some of the supporting characters tend to get. We're probably not going to get much more focus on him. Probably just like he'll probably smile genuinely a bit more though. So I don't know how much more it's gonna get to get you used to him. But I really like this scene because this is what made Kogoro actually feel like a member of the team. They do need him to like stay out of harm's way because without him, they even if they collect the rest of the collection, what's the point? Who are they supposed to give it to? Lupin? Where is he?
Yeah, I don't know where Noel's possible daddy is.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry, I'm still rolling with that theory until they
No, I
decide
get it. It's a
otherwise.
valid theory. It really is.
I mean, we've got fiance, older sibling, and best friend. Parent or pet or child are the only ones left.
I was thinking younger sibling.
I was kind of
But
like splicing sibling into one, actually.
Fair enough.
to me, this was the full redemption of Kogure. I realized I screwed up by putting all this on the Lupin Rangers, but them going, no, it's okay. It's more or less the we understand thing, and it's done very very well. The looks on the Lupin Rangers' faces when Kogure has a realization is one of pure honesty, and they have no ill will towards him for basically putting them through this.
After all, they agreed to do this. They didn't do that unprepared.
Right. And it's done very, very well. Crap, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
It's okay. Damn it. All right, go ahead and move on. I'll come back to it if I remember it.
Yep. So during the fight, Kogure confesses to X that he can't help but sympathize with the thieves, despite him trying to be cool and apathetic pretty much this whole time. The thieves defeat the Potamon and Doryun after his piece is stolen with the Lupin Magnum. So Gosh revives him, but he just retreats further underground, which is actually smart. But Red uses Lupin Magnum's Dial Henke to transform it and grow it into a humanoid mech. Wow. It gives chase and defeats several giant Potamon in the process before shooting Doryun to the surface. And it has its own insert song. I was so damn impressed with this. What did you guys think?
Easily one of the highlights of the episode. Oh my god, that insert is so fucking good. I love it. And yeah, of course they're gonna use Lupin Magnum because it's only been 2 episodes. Why not break out the big guns again? I don't mind though, it's still badass.
Quite literally, too.
Him just going further underground was pretty funny because I didn't expect that. And Gosh's whole, like, I did my job and bailing was just a great reaction to it. How long has it been since we've had an auxiliary mech that had its own will? Because
On complete will, or because if you want to go that with Orion had its own will.
oh, that's right, we just had one. I forgot about Orion.
However, this one is unpiloted for now.
Yeah, I'm sure it could be like a Zeo Ranger thing where Red could jump inside if he needed to. Um, the insert song was great as well.
I'm gonna backtrack because I remember what my thought was. It's nice to see what Kogure does even if this is a more reckless version of it. Because we never see how he knows, oh, well, here's where the Gangler is, or here's what collection piece he has, or, any of that stuff. He just goes, hey, here's the one you're going to get.
Like, he just
So,
shows up with a picture of a guy and says, they're actually a Ganglar.
so seeing how he's gathering the intel is a nice touch. Back onto the current scenes, like the roll call had to me was one of the best lines of this entire fucking episode, because you have the roll call and then the Gangler goes, well, the Lupin Rangers, they do the roll call and go, we're taking your treasure. And the Gangler goes, well, I'm purple and I'm not giving you my treasure. It was great. Seeing the Gangler disappear back down the sewers or whatever that place was fantastic. I really want to know what's underneath Japan, because there's some big ass caverns and buildings underneath and shit.
Oh yeah, there's like entire cave systems that people can map out.
Well, this
Like,
one
legit.
Well, according to this one was man-made and gigantic.
This one had some, like, almost military stuff in it.
Right.
Interesting.
Like, you see one of the construction vehicles being used to make the cave for a size comparison.
Let's just say this is leftovers from Go Busters.
You know what?
I'll accept that. Seeing Lupin Magnum was fantastic, and to me is personally the best mech entrance ever. Because it was action packed. It was, I hate using this phrase, but it was high octane. Him just literally hauling ass down the fucking tunnels was amazing.
Reminds me of an episode of Kensher where Zubon is told to, like, hey, go get salt, and he's just hauling his ass to the store to get the salt.
And then the fact that this mech is completely sentient and or computerish is phenomenal. I only say computerish only because of that weird doot thing it kept doing before shooting everybody. Have we gotten to the mech yet? The other mech?
Not yet. So
okay, because I'm gonna hold off because that was great too.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh yeah. So well, after Dorian is shot to the surface, there's a bunch of rubble flying everywhere, and Sakuya has to dodge all of it in the patrol car. And of course he pulls it off. But yeah, then Lupin Kaiser shows up and defeats Dorian with the Lupin Magnum finisher. Yeah. Any thoughts, Beshi?
The fact that Sakuya basically crashed the car / parked it against the foot of the mech.
That's comedy gold.
And then had to get out on Keiichiro's side because his door was blocked off by the mech.
Like, I understand that there was rubble flying and all of that, but how did you not see a 40-story fucking mech?
He saw it. It was stopping that was the problem, because the earth was being torn up to hell behind him, and he didn't want to stop in the middle of, like, a chasm.
And to be fair, this is Sakuya we're talking about.
Well, I understand all that. Is like, they didn't notice it until Keiichiro saw it.
His options were limited, and also it's Sakuya.
Yeah, I'll give that one. But yeah, I fucking loved that. This is the type of comedy that I enjoy in Sentai.
I also enjoyed the mech. I enjoyed the mech holding, like, the giant version of the Magnum. Pretty good. Also, just the idea of the Power Rangers are out on their normal, like, alright, we gotta save all these people that were attacked by the Ganglar Patrol, and then monster out of the ground, mech out of the ground, like, Road's gone now. This whole, like, what happened, what did we miss situation. I just really enjoy seeing that because they're also a hero team, but they weren't around for any of that, so this just caught them completely off guard.
Like the last version of that we got was when I think it was the Lupin Rangers were fighting somebody, and then here come the Pat Rangers, and all they see is a giant monster going, "Wait, already? What did
Or
we miss?"
one of the teams got a new power up, and the other one goes, "Wait, when did they get that?"
Though I wasn't expecting that to be the finisher to see though. Like I expected this one to fully showcase Lupin Magnum, so not seeing Lupin Magnum actually fully use a finisher solo, I was a little disappointed in. But damn, does it look good!
Next episode. From what I've seen in the preview.
Yeah, looks like the Power Rangers get the focus again, and the Lupin Rangers are just like, well, we have our own, like, side mech, so here, go send it out.
Yeah. So, let's see. At Gerard, the thieves only have 1 minute left. They fuse the three Kogeres on time. Noel informs them that the police saved the other victims. Kogure tries to leave in a hurry, but Umika insists that she treat his wound. He got grazed in the arm. And Toma insists that he have some food. Thieves convince him to stay. Noel wonders. Oh, why do I keep saying Noel? Kairi. Dang it.
What is... Did you take your notes wrong?
Yes. Kairi wonders if Kogure was a delinquent when he was a kid, just making a pun out of his name, I guess. He wasn't, but he did admire them as a kid.
Hence why I asked, what movies do you think he watched?
Yeah.
Groovy, anything from the 50s, take your pick, really.
Yeah, so Kairi just makes fun of the tacky, mean Kogure. Episode end.
This is the most childish Kairi has been, honestly.
And that's saying something.
Right next to making fun of Toma's dancing.
And screwing with Umika on a regular basis. Honestly, not really much to say. Sorry. Damn it.
My whole thing is it just it was great to see Kairi basically teasing Kogure because it did seem like it was finally including Kogure in the team, it solidified it. But it was just awkward to see, him bouncing around on the chair as a bike,
making vroom vroom noises.
It was odd.
Especially since he's the only one who actually saw.
Yeah, he was trying to Kogure. He was both making fun of Kogure while also giving the others an idea, and the others just had no idea what was going on.
Typical Kairi.
But it does show that hey, I'm gonna treat you like I treat the others now. Hey, you're one of us. Final thoughts, I guess?
Yep. Overall, I really liked the episode, and that mech reveal was pretty awesome. And it was good development for Kogure.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I could start liking Kogure now, which, considering how bare minimum we've gotten from him, I will appreciate. And overall, I mean, it was a good way to finally start giving a little bit more perspective on Kogure and integrate him just a touch more into the thieves' lives, if only a little. So, all in all, I liked it.
This was a good episode. It was nice to see character growth for Kogure. And after watching this, I'm no longer convinced that he is even a ganglar. Uh, this pretty much all the tropes here pretty much solidify him as just an assistant human here to help out. Uh, so I hope that they do a bit more with him later on. Maybe build off of this a bit. Because if he just falls back into a standard role after this for the rest of the series, it'll be a little upsetting. You showed us that you have potential for him to be a more involved character. Where are you going to go with that from here?
I mean, I would be okay if, like, literally all we ever saw was once in a while him and some lady across the street. Like, I really don't fully need him to be. We need to help the Lupin Rangers, like, more than he does. Just kind of show it more, I guess. Like, show him tracking down the Ganglar. And, instead of going back to the thing, have him call them or something. But overall, this was a fantastic episode. It's nice to see that this series can do character development for somebody who's not a main character. Because typically with this type of stuff, we don't get a lot of character development for side characters beyond the little one-off episode where somebody learns a lesson also helps the Lupin Rangers or Pat Rangers learn a lesson. So to have this literally be Kogure learning the lesson and has nothing to do with anything else beyond that is fantastic. And I fucking love Lupin Magnum. I literally want that to be how he pops up almost every time now. Just hauling ass down somewhere.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with Kamen Rider Zeo, and next Wednesday for more Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger. I'm actually really looking forward to next week's episode because it's a Pat Ranger focused one, and it's all about Keiichiro's anger issues. So, let's see what they do with that. See you next time.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Adieu, and later, taters.
Thank you all for listening. See you guys tomorrow or next week.